Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, kids. Welcome back. We're back for 2020, Carlton Live. I know you've missed us. I know you've been hanging on for this and you've been waiting around for footy to start. You know, footy's still got another 30 days, but we're back, and I know that's what you've been waiting for, really. Johnny, long time no see, mate, from last year. It's been a long time. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, doing very, very well. And good evening to all our viewers out there, our wonderful viewers. It's exciting to be back. We've got preview coming up of the 6 quarters of football that's going to be for Thursday night. We'll have a bit of chat about that. And I want to look forward into it.
Of course, I do live. I only saw you last week. I can't get away with that one. It's really good to be back. Thank you very much for joining us, Carlton Live. We've got our new set here. We're in the studio, as you can see, and our new logo. We've got some good feedback about that today. Thank you to the lovely Carlton supporter, Carly McClimont. I'm not sure exactly how she pronounces it, but she's done a fantastic job on our logo, and really adds to the show, I hope.
Yeah. Congratulations to Carlia there. If you want her details to do some graphic design work, her details are on our page.
100%. Okay, mate. Obviously, lots to talk about. It's the vibe is sort of nothing like I've ever felt in recent memory. Then again, my memory's not that too flash. I can't often remember what I had for breakfast. How's the vibe for you compared to with the other seasons that you've seen, and being 60 or 70, 65 or so that you've seen a few pre-seasons. So how do you rate the vibe and the feeling going into this season?
Intense. The guys have been training really, really hard and really, really well. In fact, the comment was made by one of the coaches last week that they actually had to pull the players back and, don't get too excited, boys. We've just got to, sort of steady it up a bit. We're not hit the regular season just yet. So it's great to see this, the leadership group has expanded to, and congratulations to all those who made the leadership group. I think it's more easier to probably say who didn't make the leadership group. It's a pretty big one, but that's what's happening at the club. There's leaders everywhere. And it's been fantastic to watch pre-season training.
Yep. No, you're right. It's a good feeling. We think we've had good feelings before. We think we've had good build-ups, but everything seems to be falling into place just this year. And a couple of little things aren't going our way with some injuries, and Charlie, of course, and maybe Harry not be able to get up for the pre-season. But as I said, the feeling on this pre-season is exciting and intense, and it's all happening.
Yeah, I think we've over the course of December, I think all of us here at Carlton Live tried to put together a best 22, and how difficult was it to do, Trev?
Yeah, look, it was pretty hard. There was there's probably 5 or 6 spots that are there that are very easily could go a different way. And when we talk about lists and what we wanted our best 22, having that discussion and not being able to pick a best 22 is something we want to do. So that for me, is one of the most exciting parts going this preseason is seeing these players compete for these spots. First opportunities coming up this Thursday, but like I said, there's players that can fill every spot. Just about.
Yeah, absolutely right. And the one thing that did come out of the best 22s is that pretty much the back 6 is solid. And that's what you want. That to drive towards finals and towards a premiership, that's what you need. As solid as a rock back 6.
100%. And of course, that's underpinned by Doc, who hasn't missed a beat. He's just looking fantastic. He's slimmed down. He's been to America. He's done everything. He's seeing him back on the park, and that'll happen this Thursday is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait. And a few people have got a little bit of I guess, butterflies, and not doubt, that's not the right word, but a few butterflies, just to hope that he doesn't go down on Thursday or during any of the pre-season. But having watched him train, and I put a bit of video up last week, he's just moving in every direction, front, back, side, and he's really, really moving exceptionally well. So to me, he's no more risk than any other player that's out there. He's just moving exceptionally well. He's almost just, skating across the ground.
Yep. Let's make a pact not to talk about what's gone on with him in the last couple of years. Let's just focus on what he's going to bring to the season and the team this year.
I think the intensity and the excitement he embodies it really. He's just like a kid, just can't wait to get into it. Just, like kid at Christmas he is at training at the moment. So yeah, he'll just carry everyone with him.
Let's say good day to some fantastic people we've all missed throughout the off season. Harley Ash, good evening, Harley. Thank you for joining us. Tyler Shaw, looking forward to watching the show. Thank you for joining us. Brennan Whitford, good evening to you. Thank you for tuning in. Harley Ash, g'day Harley. I've already said good idea, but thank you for commenting on our background. John Muratatis, g'day John. Thank you. Chris Humbert, welcome back. Waiting for Lotto. Do you think we can make the finals this year? Yeah, we'll let's lock in 8th spot right now. I'll call it early. First on the show, might as well make a big prediction that we'll make finals. Rachel Wilson, g'day Rach. Thanks for tuning in. We've missed you as well. Kano, quick player previews. I'll probably talk about a few players off and on through the show, but it's going to be a bit of a free-for-all, and you guys will drive the conversation as well. Clinton Bart McCrae, thank you, Clinton, for joining in. Jason Allen, how are you, buddy? Thank you very much. He's asked a question straight up. Any truth in Cruz having another heart issue? Reported just this afternoon. He's had a procedure. Club is saying that it's a standard procedure, no problems, and he'll still be part of the preseason. That your mail, John?
This is actually the first I've heard of it, to be honest. Okay. He didn't train on Saturday, and I thought that was a little odd. And it was TDK and Pitney. I was going to say Pinochet. Pitney were doing the ruck, and TDK come up really, really well. But yeah, that Cruiser wasn't training. I thought that was a bit odd at this time of year. Or I thought maybe because he's so old,
No, he's had another heart procedure, which is a little bit disconcerting given some issues he's had previously in games he's missed. But the club has said that he'll be taking part in the pre-season game. So let's hope that is the case. Lino DeZino, g'day Lino. Thank you for joining us. Fantastic Carlton man, loves the backdrop as well. I've got another background that people might be interested in looking at. I'll bring that up right now. We thought we'd go with the new logo just to see what everyone likes, but I think this one might look a little bit better, just for those interested out there. So take your pick, ladies and gentlemen. Is it the Carlton Life logo? Or is it the backdrop that you see here?
I'll stick with the logo, thanks.
You stick with the logo? Okay, no worries. Well, I've just got that as my screensaver, so I don't know how that popped up. That was a bit of an accident. We'll go back to the logo. Someone else I'd like to mention and stole a little bit of my thunder, but I'll bring him up right now. Robert Borg, thank you for joining us. Hashtag all of us. Just really want to congratulate the club and all involved in putting that recent marketing membership package and strategy together, underpinned by the slogan, all of us. It just really nails it, doesn't it? And it just puts together and epitomises what's been going on at Carlton over the last couple of years in terms of engagement and bringing everyone together and our girls team and all that kind of stuff. And to hear Stick's voice aligned with Carlton again was, gave a little bit gave me some goosebumps, to be honest. So love to hear your thoughts on that, everyone. Johnny, what did you reckon?
Haven't seen the full campaign yet. Actually, I've been flat out building my own campaigns. It's been a very, very busy time business-wise, which is very, very good. So I haven't seen the full campaign. I've seen the photos come through on Facebook, and yeah, it's a very, very impressive way to go. Backed up by the fact that in the last month or a couple of months, particularly in the new year, that that the coaches of the two teams are coming closer together. They're bringing the support staff closer together, like the recruiters and so forth, and it's all sort of melding as one. So to see this campaign wasn't a surprise, but it was brilliant. I thought it was really, really well done.
Yep. And like I said, I think Sticks, doing the voiceover and being part of it was really a great touch. A guy that's probably hasn't been around the club for a while, hasn't heard his voice around from the club, a little bit maligned due to the presidency issues and of course the Brett Ratton stuff. But, taking him and putting him into the fold as part of all of us was a really great touch, I thought.
Yeah. I think what you said at the top of the show is absolutely right. Not only with Doc's injury, but for the whole club, let's forget about what's happened, and let's have a look forward, because there is a hell of a lot to look forward to.
There is indeed. Tyler Shaw agrees. Absolutely incredible ad campaign. The slogan is perfect. That means the club is listening to the fans. For sure. Will Butterworth, g'day, Will. Can't wait to see Eddie Betts and Martin alongside Cunningham and Gibbons. John, you've watched a fair bit of our training sessions over the preseason, and you've mentioned Eddie quite a bit. Just give us a bit of an insight to what you've seen of him so far on the track, and what he's going to do for us, on game day.
Mixed emotions with Eddie. Actually, he is absolutely flying. Anyone who says that his best footy's behind him and he's too old and all that sort of stuff, he's lost a yard of pace, just nick down to training and have a look, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. He's reading the ball well. He's tackling hard. He's really enjoying his footy and really enjoying being back at Carlton. And he will really shock a few teams, I think, who have sort of thought down the lines that he is a little bit finished. No way. He'll be very, very handy for us in that forward line. And I say mixed emotions because it's like we shouldn't have lost him in the first place. We've missed 6 years of such magical football. And seeing him at training brings all that back, those memories flooding back, and you kind of think it's really, really sad that he ended up going, and I get quite emotional about it, because it was one of the club's worst decisions in the last 20 years, letting him go. And we've made some shocking decisions, but we're not looking backwards. So looking forward, I can't wait to see what he brings. If he kicks the first goal on first Thursday night of the season, the place will erupt. It'll just go mad.
Look, it just would be a fairy tale, wouldn't it? If you got a lazy pineapple floating around, stick it on Eddie. He'll probably be at 12-1 or something like that. That'd be fantastic. He's openly come out in some media and said that, and it's quite evident that he wasn't happy in that last sort of little stint at Adelaide. He's quite openly come out now and say that he plays his best footy when he's happy. From what I've seen as well, he's certainly a happy chappy down there at the moment and doing all the right things on the park.
He's happy down there because of the environment that's been created, but also because of the style of play that we're really working towards now. It really suits him. It really works to his favours in terms of we're playing fast footy, get it down there quickly before the numbers get back, and deliver it to key forwards. And there's plenty of opportunity and plenty of space for him to work his magic, and he does when it comes to ground. Even sometimes he hasn't even let it come to ground. It's just come off Levi's head and he's gone, yoink, thank you, I'll kick a goal. So it's I'm getting quite excited, aren't I?
I can see the desk lifting up as we speak, mate. No, you won't be the only one who's going to be excited up and about seeing Eddie run around in his long shorts. That's for sure. Another one.
Even from a financial perspective, sorry, mate. Even from a financial perspective, he just brings everyone along with him. His bums on seats. You know, he's worth another 5,000 to 10,000 memberships. You know, people just want to go and see him play football.
Can make a prediction, mate. How many goals are we going to see from Eddie?
I think he'll average between 1.5 and 2 goals per game.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be a good output. 2 goals a game would be a good output from Eddie. Another player I'd like to mention just before we get to some comments from the audience is the Carlton Live sponsored Jack Martin. Mixed feelings about getting Jack into the club. Obviously, there was some issues in getting him here in the first place, and we eventually nabbed him after Gold Coast, let him go in the preseason draft. He's come with a pretty hefty price tag. He's been up and down in the last few seasons at Gold Coast, but the word around from the club is he's just hit it full steam ahead and looking out, to try and take some midfield time and not just be that half forward or floating player that we think he might be, but he's looking for some midfield time.
Yeah, I had my misgivings about him coming over, particularly with the price tag, albeit it's front-ended while we've got that salary cap space. But I wasn't terribly excited about it, and I was pretty vocal about that. Pretty vocal about being nonchalant. And then as soon as I saw him on the track, I thought, I've got this horribly wrong. In fact, we all have got it horribly wrong. He's not a floating half forward. He's not a small forward. He's going to go in and make a big impact in the middle. So if you're looking for a super coach sort of mid-price range forward, I'd have a look at putting him in, because he'll play a lot more in the midfield than his time at Gold Coast, and his delivery is exceptional. He's ferocious in tackling as well. That's something that I didn't think he had, in his bag of tricks. But yeah, he's just lifted the intensity with the boys, and the coaches and the players are come out saying, "What the hell was that? Where did that come from?" So good on him. I'm glad we sponsored him, and Trevor, congratulations on putting all that together, and congratulations to everyone who came in and had a bit of a chunk of it.
Yeah, no, it's a really good thing to be able to, I suppose, align yourself with a player and definitely align yourself with the club as well. We are a fan show, but we also want to give back when we can from the club, and just doing that and having it be able to syndicate it amongst some Carlton Live people has been fantastic. And best case scenario, we can keep it rolling over for as long as Jack's a Carlton player. So it's going to be fantastic. We've got our Guernsey Club presentation event coming up on the 3rd of March, I think. So, you and I will be going to that. It'll be a good opportunity to get amongst some other Carlton Live supporters and some other Carlton supporters for the pre-season as well.
Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great. Really great event. And, can't wait to get going.
Let's hear from the audience again. Tyler, g'day, Tyler. Martin's looking really great. Looking forward to watching him in the practice match for sure. Anthony Walsh, is there a baby crying? Yes, that is a baby. That is my little son, who's a little terror, 3 years of age, and his mum's up there trying to settle him up. So I apologise for that in the background. Debbie O'Connor, g'day, Deb. Thank you for joining us. Just got on. Can someone catch me up and tell me if it's live streaming on Thursday? And our sound keeps cutting out. I don't know whether that's anyone else is experiencing that. Let us know if that's a problem. Haven't heard of a live stream. The club haven't said anything. You'd think there'd be a bit of demand to see it. Otherwise, we'll be up there with our mobile phones, John.
Yeah, nothing from the club. They put out a press release about the game today, and there was no mention of streaming. So yeah, we might be getting the mobile phones out, mate. It's going to be a bit hard with a beer in one hand and a phone in the other.
Yeah. Well, given the fact this was a thrown together match, so it's not really I don't know if it's a sanctioned proper preseason match as such,
it's not.
but it was a thrown together one in order to raise some funds for the bushfires. So organises a live stream, and I think it's going to be 6 quarters, John. It's a match simulation and then match game. Is that right?
Yeah. What can anyone explain to me what the difference is between a match simulation and then a match?
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's whether they're just going to work out with each other who to kick it to and who not to kick it to, and then decide to tackle. It's going to be it's going to be a funny situation, but
I think both teams will go in with pretty much whoever's fit.
Anyone knows what they're talking. Dane Rawlings to say 4 quarters match. Interesting. Leroy Tenners, and there's a few people have asked just about the news on Cruiser. He's had another, if you're just joining in, he's just had another heart procedure. Apparently it's a standard minor procedure that's part of the management of his ongoing condition, and that the Carlton, the footy club, say that he'll be right for pre-season. So we trust in them to tell the truth. Sometimes they may not always tell the truth, but we trust on this, and we hope to see Cruz out there because he's going to be a big part of our year. Kayla, I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce your name. Kalia, I hope it is. McClimate is joining us, and again, shout out to you for our new logo. The very talented Kalia there. She's doing extremely well, and we love our new logo. Thank you very much to you. I might just jump out a bit, Johnny, if you wouldn't mind, while I sort out some issues. If you want to read out some comments, I'll be back in 1 second.
Yep, sure. Let's do that. So yeah, Dane, any word what the difference is between the 4 quarters of match sim and 2 quarters of game scenario? I imagine it would be a change up in intensity. That the 4 quarters would just be a bit of a kick around. I do think that both teams will field whoever's fit will get some game time, because I think both teams are going to really look at it to see, all right, what's the strength of the depth of our lists. Who can we bank on should there be some injuries come out. And I just want to just stop here for a minute and talk about Thursday night and a bit of a shout out, even though he was an opposition player, a bit of a shout out to Dane Beams. I hope that he is okay, and I hope that he gets the help that he needs and can move on forward with his life. I thought it was a real shame. He's connected with a family that I used to play golf with his grandfather in Yarrawonga. So we're kind of connected that way by 6 degrees of separation, and I really, really hope that he is okay going forward. But enough on that. Okay, Kano, thoughts on Matthew Kennedy for 2020? A very interesting one. He hasn't spent a lot of time in the midfield during training. He's kind of pinch hits in the midfield, spending a lot of time as sort of a mid-sized forward, if you like, which he was doing a lot of last year under Teague. He's looking good. He's looking very, very fit. If Charlie and Harry don't get up for round 1, he'll be someone who will. His name will be tossed around, I would think. I think in terms of midfield that he's kind of been squeezed out there now with the kind of talent that we've got coming through. And someone mentioned earlier, apologies, I missed who that was, that there was talk about Caleb Marchbank playing off a wing now, and Lockie Plowman really taking that that third tall position in the back line, which would mean, that adds further pressure to who's going to make it into the midfield. Setterfield is playing a lot more inside now than he was last year. He's not really playing as that winger, that outside player, but saying that, he'll go and split and run outside when he needs to, and he's also pushing forward, so he's pretty much doing everything. I think everyone knows by now my thoughts on him and how much I rate him and how much growth I think he still has left within him. At training, the guys that I've been most impressed with, apart from him, I've mentioned Sam Walsh just about every week that I've done a training report. He's just getting bigger, better, faster, more skillful, better decision making. I think we've got a superstar on our hands there. Someone mentioned before, do we still go after Papley? All depends on who sticks their hand up this year in that small forward position opposite Eddie. I'd still say, Eddie's potentially got a couple of years still left in him. So who's going to take that other pocket with him? Is it someone taller like a Kennedy, or is it someone a little bit more zippy, like maybe even a Darcy Lang, who has really impressed at preseason training this year? For the first time ever, he's actually got a preseason done. He's looking really, really fit, and he's quick too. So watch out for him in the preseason, and just see how he goes. Now Trev's coming in and out here. Hopefully he is back on. Simon Martin, Cruz's heart. There's apparently from statement from the club saying that he's had another operation, but only a minor procedure, so he should be right to go. Kano, can we see JSOS and Kennedy in the same team and forward line? I wouldn't think so unless we've got injuries. I think that would be pretty much interchangeable. And welcome back, Trevor.
Thank you. Good to be back after that minor break there. Thanks for taking over there, Johnny. You should be the host all the time, mate. You're doing an awesome job. Quick question. Thank you very much. Quick question for you. Again, like you said, you've seen a few training sessions and kept a close eye on it for everyone and done some fantastic reporting, the best in the business for your training reports. There's no doubt about that. Some of the young players that have stood out, obviously Brody Kemp was our first pick, and all he's been doing is running laps, and we're saving him for next year. But is there a possibility one of these guys might put their hand up and get up?
Yeah,
early. Sort of who's impressed you the most?
Yeah, really good question. Just on Kemp, before we go anywhere, he's a big lad. By God, he's a big lad. But when he was drafted, I think it was said on the night that we're drafting him for 2021. He's not going to see football in 2020. We knew that drafting him, and that's why he slipped out so far. Otherwise, he would have been a top five pick. Yeah. And we had that luxury to be able to do that. So, who's really impressed me is Sam Phil. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, just back on Kemp, would you send him over to the States to see Doc's doctor?
Sorry, mate, you faded out there.
Would you send him across to the States to see the same doctor that Sam Doherty saw?
Yeah, look, if it'd be beneficial for him in the future, it's worth sending him through to that doctor. From all reports, he's recovering well. We're just taking our time and just doing the cautious approach. We don't really need to rush him into the team. We don't really need to rush anyone into the team like we've had to do over the past 4 or 5 years. We had to blood these players as quickly as possible. So when it came to 2020, 2021, we had some players who were ready to go, and looks like we've got that. But saying that, Sam Philp, he is a big chance to get a bit of time. He's tremendous off the takeaway with the ball. tremendously clean below his knees, grabs it and just takes off and really cuts through packs and does a pretty good job at delivering it. There's still room for improvement there, but there's room for improvement for a lot of our team to do that. So I reckon he's exciting, a really exciting prospect. The other one who's really caught my eye is Sam Ramsey, who just looks like Zach Fisher 2.0. Looks exactly like him when he was 17, 18 years of age. Similar build, similar hairstyle, but also that ability just to stand up in tackles, get the arms free, just slither the arms free and get rid of the football. He's got that amazing knack as well. So watch out for him in a couple of years. I don't think we need to, again, rush him into the team, but you never know. Now, one player who I've got to really mention from Saturday is Moore, who came over from Richmond in his first hit out. He was super impressive. He was super hard at the ball, got great hands. He's quick off the mark, can take a good mark, and then he flips off either hand off to the running player beside him. He's got a quick brain like that. So he's certainly done the right things in his first session. It's got to be said with Carlton.
We touched base on it just quickly last week about where our next pick is. That we've put Moore's come in sort of out of the blue. They've had their eye on him. Maybe Kane Little, being ex-Richmond's, had his eye on him for a while. We know he loves his Richmond guys. Had his eye on him, but given the issue with Charlie, potentially we don't know how long he's going to be out. Obviously, Lucas Webb been training quite consistently with the club. I think we've got a guy as well. I just can't remember off the top of my head who's currently sort of training with us an extra long. I think Unico, that's the one. Thank you, Clinton, Bart McRae. Like you said, Johnny, it's really going to be horses for courses, and just probably looking at our as well as your Warriors for a bit.
Yeah, sorry, Trev. I think myself and the viewers are having real trouble hearing you. You're sort of cutting in and out. I'd like to address Tyler Shaw's question here because I think it's a really good one about the ability of guys like Dow, O'Brien, and Fisher. Will they have difficulty making it into the midfield considering the depth? I think everyone will find it difficult because of the depth that we've got. O'Brien has impressed me. He's playing, a lot on that outside role. And he runs all day, as we know from last year, and that left foot kick that he's got is getting better and better and better, and it's so penetrating, that kick. And in today's football, that's what you really need. Going back to what I was talking about before about getting it in there quick to the tall forwards who've got a chance, and then having enough space for guys like Eddie to work their magic if the ball comes to ground or if it spills from the pack. So he's really one who stood up. Jack Younes, I think, was a bit of a surprise that we got him, because I think it's either O'Brien or Younes, in my view. And I think O'Brien's just got him at the moment. Dow has been super impressive, particularly since the new year. He's slaughtered everyone in the midfield on Saturday with a wet ball, and he was playing like it was dry. The only question mark that everyone's got on Dow is about his kicking ability, which I can categorically say this preseason has dramatically improved. He's obviously done a lot of work on it. I think a lot of it's between the ears, and as soon as he gets confidence doing that in a real match situation under pressure, he'll just be a lock into the midfield. But then again, I'm naming everyone's going to make it, and no, we can't fit them all in. There's no way. So, Tyler, I think in the midfield, it's chuck names up in the air and see who comes together on the floor. That's your starting six.
How do I sound now? Am I back again to full strength?
Yeah, you are, and clear.
Good news. Good news. Sorry about that. I know you've all missed me, so you can tune back in again now that I'm on again. Johnny, every year about this time, we predict a player or call out a player that we think is going to be that breakout player for us this year. You know, it's obviously easy to do potentially after the preseason games, but we like to put our neck on the line and name one at this sort of time. Last year for you, it was Sam Petrevsky-Seton, I believe.
Yep.
It's got to be one, and it's going to be harder this year than last. So let's hear it from you. Who is, and I'd love to hear from the audience as well. We just want one. Don't cheat and give us two. We want one breakout player, a player that's going to really come to the next level and take his game up there and take it up there. So Johnny, give us yours, and also would love to hear from the audience about who your breakout player for 2020 will be. Will
Setterfield, without question.
Okay, that was quick. You must have been thinking of that answer.
I've had that in the barrel ever since the end of last season. No, look, just what I've seen pre-season just backs up, my thoughts on him. And I don't think he has a ceiling, and if he does, it's bloody high. It's cathedral-like.
Yeah, look, he started. There's going to be plenty that agree with you, of course, and he did show plenty last year, and some stuff he was doing on the field could have set a feat his like. We know he's very highly touted. We know that he did have that injury, and with Russell on board, his preseason on board. You're right. That it's a good call. As I said, a few people agree with you. I can't wait to see him in action. There's a few that have got some other thoughts on that. Clint Bart McRae says Gibbons to have a breakout year. Shannon Wells agrees with you in terms of Setterfield.
Yeah, go on again, Trev. I'm just going to have to take over here. Thanks to Sauce for getting setters. That's a really good one. Thanks to Sauce for everything that he's done. It was a really difficult decision to let him go. I'm not a fan of it still, but that's life. That's the way it goes. I can kind of see how difficult it's going to become over the next couple of years. Talking about his boys. He just basically has to leave the room, and I guess that's not sustainable over time. I think there was definitely some behind the scenes bitching that went on as well, but let's talk about the positives and move forward with Curly Austin's son, who's he's been quite impressive chatting at the moment. I think with Junior Curly coming in, I don't think that Lucas Webb will be liking that too much, given that Curly Austin was Junior Curly was one of the reasons why he left. Well, I can't say that categorically, but Junior Curly was on the team that let him go. I should probably say that. So whether he rates him or not, I don't know. Look, he did some great things, Sauce, and just want to go back over to the viewers who to think the bolter will be. Yeah, Jacob Wiedering's a very, very good call, Robbie. Liam Stocker, he is a bit forgotten. That's not at all. He's an excellent footballer. He's getting over his issues. He's picked up his pace. He's picked up his endurance. He's a really promising young athlete, and it's it's going to be interesting to see where we play him and how he goes. Dane Rawlings breakout, Will Setterfield and Jack Martin. Yeah, Jack Martin, as well as another very, very good call. And how will our talk forwards work together? It hasn't worked to date. It's interesting that our three big guys, according to Andrew Lake, who is Carlton Google. I didn't even bother asking this question of Google because I thought Andrew would be far quicker, and he was. Is how many games have those tall forwards played together last season? And the answer is only 8 out of the 22. So I think that's too small a sample size, really, to say, is it working, is it not working type of thing. They will look better with a lot better delivery into them. They'll look a lot better with small forwards around them who are dangerous and effective. And so, out of a sample size of 8, it's pretty hard to tell. Albeit we only won 1 of those 8 games, according to Andrew, and that was whilst our new coach came on board, David Teague, of course. Memory's gone. So it was under Teague that we got that win, but 1 out of 8 at the moment. McGovern, yeah, he's got the chance to be a real breakout as well. Cunners is another one. Trevor Levine. Cunners has looked absolutely outstanding this preseason. No one can catch him. No one can tackle him. He's unbelievable. So he'll come off the half forward flank. He'll pinch hit in the midfield. I really hope and pray that he gets a full run at it, injury-free this year, and we'll start to see what Cunners can actually do and why we drafted him. I'm a big fan of his, have been, right from the start, because I can see that explosiveness. Just one of those players, if he gets on a roll, he can just break a game apart. So, yeah, he's another good pick. McGovern, of course, has stripped down a hell of a lot of weight. He looks super fit. He looks like a completely different person to the guy that we saw last year. And if he can get fit and stay fit, he will. Yeah, he will be big benefit to us, a big boon for us, which we really didn't see much of last year. We saw it in patches, and we saw how mercurial he could be, but it lasted for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then he didn't do much for the rest of the game. Jimmy O'Connor, Cam Paulson, of course. Look, he hasn't looked bad either. He's played a number of different roles. I'm sort of trying to find his level, his own level, and his own spot. I saw him play a bit of back pocket the other day, and he was sort of zooming out of defence there, which was interesting. Andrew Walsh saying Lockie O'Brien breakout season, not a bad call. Gibbons from Clinton Bark McRae. Yeah, Gibbons is a funny one. He's done nothing wrong. He looks great out there, but I just wonder if the talent that we've got in is going to surpass him, and if he's going to make it into that starting 22. I can't really find a spot for him at the moment, and that's nothing against the guy. He had a fantastic season last year, and he gives 100%, gives his heart and soul when he's out on the ground. But when you're putting a best 22 down, like, you can't fit everyone in. Poor guy has to be squeezed out. Another one who I initially squeezed out of my best 22 was Jack Silvani. Another guy who just, when you see him train, and the intensity that he brings, the marking, the football smarts that he's got. I've left him out of my best 22, and when I see him train, he's almost the first one that I'd put on the page. He brings another level. He really does. So that's why I'd give him the nod over Kennedy at the moment, and maybe that fourth tall sort of, pushing into the midfield. Round one, the way we're going, he might be our first or second tall. But he has been super impressive. His brother Ben, he's sort of going along, and I mentioned on the website the other day, I did a bit of an article on the both of them, and so go and have a look at carltonlive.com if you get a chance. He's not coming along exponentially, but you can see that there's talent there. He's predominantly being used down back. He was used a little bit forward, a little bit in the ruck, and kicked a goal, but didn't look too comfortable in the ruck. So he's still a bit of time left for him, but in terms of his development. But I just wonder if he's got time now, and if we don't see the improvement there this year, whether he's still got a spot. Trev, if you're able to take over, I'm just going to take a quick sip of water.
You probably deserve it, mate. You've been yabbering on so much. So thank you for taking over, and hopefully I'm back and nice and clear now. You mentioned a player in your little monologue there about the breakout year and a few questions that the people had. I probably think I'm going out on a limb here in terms of a breakout year. I'm gonna put my money on JSOS. I just think he's got it all together now. I think that maybe the little bit of the stresses of having his father there are off his shoulder, which is probably a good thing from his perspective. I think what value he brings to the club, the team, in terms of utility is there. I think he's underrated in terms of his work rate. I just think that there's a real good opportunity to play a high half forward role in an attacking team, pinch hitting in the ruck, pinch hitting in the guts, and even be used as a tagger in some cases. That's so. There's obviously plenty of players, but I just thought I'd go out on a limb and put JSOS out there.
Yeah, look, it's not a bad call either. I don't think I wrote on the website the other day, carltonlive.com. I wrote about how I don't think I'm as curious about any other player on the list this year about where they're going to go and how the effects of not having Sauce there in the background, if that's going to have a positive effect, if it's going to have a negative effect, or if he's just if it's going to drive him more to just prove himself and say, hey, you know what, I deserve to be here. I didn't get picked because of my dad. I got picked on my merits, and I'm going to show the world. And I reckon that he might just do that. And if he does, then you're spot on money.
Well, curious is a very good word, and I'm curious as well. But I'm also, like I said, backing him in to do it at the same time. We've already mentioned half a dozen players to a dozen players that we're looking forward to seeing. It's just going to be so interesting to see what happens and what develops over this pre-season. I'm confident that T is going to not pick his buddies and pick his mates. I think he's going to pick the team on merits and these pre-season games. We've got Collingwood, we've got Brisbane. I think we've got Fremantle first, and then Brisbane, and pretty much we're there. So it's going to be all spots up for grabs.
Yeah, this Thursday is going to be really telling about who sort of stands up in this, because everyone's going to get a go, I reckon, and it's going to be really interesting to see who sticks their hand up. You'll learn a lot from this Thursday about what's going to happen with our best 22.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, I think there's probably only maybe Harry and Charlie that are probably not in the mix in terms of injuries. I can't think of anyone else that stands out right now that wouldn't be able to put their hand up and have a crack at a full game.
Cruz would probably struggle to play Thursday. He might play the other two games, but yeah, look, I can't think of anyone else either. Obviously, there's someone obvious that we're missing, but I was absolutely delighted on Saturday to see Marchbank running around again, and pretty much running around at full capacity. Did most of the session, and looked more comfortable than I've seen him all pre-season. Pre-season, I think he's frustrated him a little because he hasn't been able to do what he wants out on the field, and he hasn't been able to get out there and have a kick with the boys. He's really done a lot of solo work, and I think it's frustrated him a bit. So it was like a huge sigh of relief from himself and probably from everyone watching him on Saturday that he was out there. And McGovern played some minutes as well, so I couldn't see him not having at least a little bit of time against Collingwood on Thursday.
30 days to go. I'm very concerned that Harry Mackay is going to run out of time. The line has been always that they're building him up to round one, but without having him starting to do some full-on competitive and training work, you'd have to say he's probably about 50% chance of getting up for round one.
Yeah, I think it's 50-50. And I want to throw this question up to you and to all of the viewers. Uh, is it unfair if he does get up for round one, given that the hard work that some of these other guys have done, and someone's going to have to miss out? Is that just?
Oh, it's a great question, and I'll answer it first before everyone else does. It's just if he gets up and does the work and performs in these preseason games. If he thinks he's not going to, I don't see that he would be locked in for round one just because being is Harry Mackay. He's got to do that work and he's got to play those preseason games for me. So yeah, whether it's the work. It's just getting the time out there and proving himself that he's capable of earning a spot for round one.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think he's really running out of time. I can't see him making. Well, he's definitely not going to make this week. I can't see him making the second game. The third game is a stretch. So how he's going to get himself right for round one? He won't have a chance to get match fit. So it's going to be very difficult to see him play round one.
Mark McKenzie, Moore might be selected and play round one against his old Tigers. It's an interesting proposition if that would happen, wouldn't it? Speaking of round one, Shannon Wells has put up a good question, and you can go first, Johnny. Who's your front six for round one?
Oh, gee, that's a really good question. Good grief.
We'll start with Levi because clearly he's been doing everything right this preseason, and I'm pretty sure he's going to win the Coleman medal this year and come second to the Cripper and the Brownlow. So we can surely agree on Levi being amongst that.
Oh, you not only build a forward line around him, mate, you build a team around him.
So we'll do this exercise together. We've got Levi, so we've got Eddie. Can we lock in Eddie?
Yeah, so that's two of the six. I'm going to say Harry's not going to get up and McGovern will, so that's third.
Okay.
I would put Fisher as coming off a half-forward flank.
Okay.
That leaves two spots, my friend. One for Jack Silvani.
Well, let's put Jack Martin in there because I don't think he will get that midfield spot initially. I think that they'll end up playing up in the half-forward line. So let's put Jack Martin up there.
Okay, so that's our six. Fisher, Martin, JSOS, Levi, Eddie, and McGovern.
Two talls, Levi and McGovern. It's there's got to be, obviously it's going to float around a bit, and there's going to be other people in the mix. But that's the best we can do so far.
Oh, Cunningham! I miss Cunningham. Oh my God, yeah, Cunningham off the bench.
We won't. We'll probably do a rotating best 20, best 22. We'll do one every week between now and the start of the season, and just see how we go. It'll like the All Australian revolving team will change between now and when that changes. Some other couple of comments from our fantastic audience, and again, really appreciate you joining us. It's fantastic to be back for 2020. We're champing at the bit for round one, 30 days from now. It's going to be exciting. 100,000 at the G, no doubt. And we've got a very big chance to take on and beat Richmond. And just on a side note, I don't know if anyone has seen some of my previous comments, but if we manage to beat Richmond round one, guess who's getting a Carlton tattoo? And we'll also live stream that on the. Well, I don't know if we'll do it on the Friday morning about 2 a.m. because we might not get legal permission to do it. We might do it on the Tuesday after the win.
Brilliant, yeah! Live show straight from Joe's tattoo parlour. I better get my Hep C and all those vaccinations up place. Also, I'll need a place to stay because my wife said if I come home with a tattoo, then it's Gonski. So
Any single ladies out there, or maybe even single guys who got a spare room, let me know, and I'll just keep that in the back of my thinking.
Hey, I want to know now, out there in the Carlton world, do we have any tattoo artists out there who will be able to do it for Trev? Kalia, I don't know if you're good on the needle.
Well, I'd like to keep it in the Carlton family, so yeah, we've got to advocate Carlton businesses. So yeah, let us know if there's any. I'm not going to go down to Jakey King's parlour because you never know what happened. I'll be part of some kind of drug raid or something. So we'll try and keep it in the Carlton family if we can.
Yeah, definitely not the Richmond family, mate. You never know what you might get.
This is true. Okie dokie. A couple of people have asked what my background is. I've just turned that little feature off in the hope of actually being able to speak to you, and I'm getting NBN at some stage in the next century. So if that comes on, hopefully we won't experience these technical issues moving forward. One question I did see, and we'll talk about this right now, and the Big V game State of Origin team was announced today, or the squad was announced today. One player, which we all knew that who that would be, and that's Crip, has been selected for the All-Stars. No other Carlton players made the squad, which on one hand I'm disappointed and surprised, but on the other hand, totally fine with. Yeah, someone asked me who would I be going for. Big V, of course, all round, but I'll be certainly hoping Cripper tears it up and wins the medal. That's what I'll be going along to see that. So I'm interested to see where that happens. But yeah, great to see Cripper being amongst those other players, and a fantastic accolade for him personally, and another feather he's kept to make a State of Origin side, which might not ever happen again.
Yeah, who knows? It's a great cause. Get behind it, absolutely. I'll just be interested to see how it all unfolds and how the different players play. They obviously won't be going in hard. It's going to be interesting to see whether it's a bit of a hit and giggle like the old Legends match that happens, or whether it's going to be some pretty serious sort of stuff.
Yeah, no, it's going to be really interesting. And as I said, hopefully Cripper comes through unscathed and has a good performance, because it's be great to see him amongst those other players. Okay, so yeah, we covered off a fair bit tonight. It's great to have all our viewers back and ready for action for round one. I hope you've got your tickets. I hope you've got your membership, because it's going to be rare as hen's teeth to get to the game if you haven't got a ticket or a membership. It's a Richmond home game as well, isn't it? It
is, yeah. Yeah, and because they're unfurling the flag, just about every single one of their members who are able are going to make it there. So if you're gonna go, book your tickets immediately.
Yeah, get on and do it now too. That's for sure. Just before we wrap up, John, again back to your expertise looking at the players and the training, and we say a little bit every year, but and I know we've got young players coming through and developing, but Andrew Russell seems to have a lot of work, or a lot of been work done on the physical attributes of the players. We all know how skinny players like Fish and JSOS were, and Sam Petrevsky-Seton. I got a chance to see a lot of those guys up close, particularly at Family Day last week, and the muscle tone and the bulk that they were sporting was really good.
Yeah, amen to that. He's every player just who was able to, and into the training, they just look in peak condition. It's really a credit to all of the staff and with under Andrew's leadership. Absolutely. They look ready to go. They do.
They look like they're having fun out there too, and we know that Teague's style is to allow them to play their natural game. We've seen what he brought to the side when he first came in, and the results that happened, and now he's got a side to build it around now. And I listened to an article or an interview with Jacob Wiedering during the week. One of the things he said, and I 100% agree with, was that there's no more excuses.
Yep.
Not in terms of not winning in terms of making finals or anything like that, but in terms of just making our way up the ladder. That's it's a give me that this has got to happen this year, and we've got to get up there and start making progress. And like I said, if we can scrape into 9th or 8th, of course, would be amazing, but that would have to be where we'd be aiming for it at least.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, look, get back to Jacob Wiedering. He under Andrew Russell, he's huge. He is a big boy, but he's fit. I think 2 years ago I was a little bit critical that he was carrying a little bit too much up top. He's now just finely chiseled, if you like to call it that. And he's ready to go. He's looking amazing on the ground. And we kind of forget him too. Number 1 pick. He sort of, he makes he's now a lock into our back six. And we just sort of take him for granted and think, he's been around for a while, but he's still very young, and he could even be the one that you say, all right, he's going to make a massive jump this year.
Yeah, and he's benefited from, and he will benefit from Doc being back. Fit Liam Jones and Jacob Wiedering, I think have got the potential to be, the preeminent 2 key backs of the comp. We know Liam Jones has taken on some big challenges, and so has Wiedering, and they played on the best players. We know Liam Jones has had a crack at Tom Lynch before and beaten him. I'd give him the first crack at Lynch round 1. I reckon those 2. And back. We talked about our front six.
And Uncle Trev's gone.
Okay, I've gone again.
Oh, he's back.
How am I doing? Sorry, back again. But yeah, we talk about our front six, but our back six are equally as important. And there's some rocks down there, and underpinned by Doc being back as well.
Yeah, Doc just brings so much to the team. You can just see them just following him and Cripps' lead, and the rest of the leadership group now who really, I guess they really have risen to the top over the preseason. Yeah.
Yep. Before we go, another question that I didn't bring up, and someone mentioned this player, and again, we could spend all night talking about players, and what we'll do next week is probably start on our best 22 and revolve that and narrow that down as the sides progress through the pre-season comp. But Jack Nunes has seemed to impress a few on the track.
Yeah, go on again, Trev. I'm going to have to take over here. Look, I think with the issues that Trevor's having, we'll call it a night here. There's plenty more to talk about, but we'll have a big show again next Tuesday night. So if you're going Thursday night or Thursday afternoon, can get a bit of time off work, enjoy it. Come and say hello. I'll be there. I'll be down at Norton's probably first of all to have a bit of my warm up, and then be at the ground from there. So come and say hello. Love to have a chat to you about all things Carlton. Big shout out to the cheer squad who did some amazing work on Saturday, getting people up and involved with the cheer squad and the raffles and so forth. So good on them. They do some great work, and they don't get a lot of the credit that they deserve of what they actually do for the club. That's about it for me. Trevor's gone, so we will catch you all next Tuesday night, 7:30 again. In the meantime, go and have a look at the site, carltonlive.com. It's one that I'm proud to say that I developed, and it's coming along a treat, something that I'm very, very proud of. And I'll be extra proud now that we've got this logo that is behind me, that I'll be putting that on the website. If not tonight, then tomorrow morning. Go in and have a read of the content in there. It's often asked of me how people can help us. If you can, just like us, share us, do all that social media stuff. It means the absolute world to us when you do. So if you can help us out there, that would be absolutely amazing. We'll see you next Tuesday night. Thanks again for watching.
Thanks, guys, and sorry about my technical difficulties. We'll, if I'm still with you, we'll sort that out by next week, or maybe now Johnny's gone over, we'll just do the show all again. But thanks again, everyone. Really appreciate you joining us. We'll see you back again Tuesday night. Good night.